Hey, Foot Geek, it's CJ again, and today we're here with David from TurnFit, and we're going to be talking about patellofemoral syndrome. Now, do you know what patellofemoral syndrome is?
I don't. Please educate me.
You don't? All right, there you go. Anyway, patellofemoral syndrome is when the kneecap shifts sideways. And oftentimes the reason that happens is, number one, you either pronate. A lot of runners seem to be affected by it. And the reason I brought David out to talk about this is because of the fact that he obviously helped people train for stronger muscles.
Yeah.
And one of the big factors of helping reduce, some of the symptoms of patellofemoral syndrome, which is that shifting of the kneecap, is to strengthen your quad muscles.
Right.
So I wanted to kind of run through some exercises with David to figure out how to make that better.
Sure. All right. So typically, what do you usually give for exercises for your clientele for strengthening quad?
For myself, it's really kind of more about, let's do some simple strengthening exercises where you just try to sit down in a chair, but not completely, right?
Yeah.
So that way, again, we talked about in another video as well, where we want you to kind of focus on your gait also,
yeah.
right? Because if your foot is going outwards like this a lot, it's going to cause your knees to shift inward too, which can cause the patella to shift, right? Yeah. So, by positioning your feet more appropriately and then making sure that your knee is tracking over the second toe,
yeah.
it's going to help you make those quad muscles stronger in the proper way.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're doing the squat wrong, it's not going to
make
a difference.
Exactly. So let's start with the squat. Squat, everybody's a little bit different. So for you, how you want to line yourself up is if you find your hip bones and find out how they're aligned. For me, they're kind of pointed slightly like this. So my feet might be a little bit like this. So my fingers are lining up with the big toes. Then what I'm doing is as I'm squatting, so first of all, this core all moves as a unit. I don't want to bend it like this and then squat. I am exhaling, get some core engagement. And then opening up through the knees and then hinging at the hips and then squatting backwards. So everything kind of moves as one unit. And then you can go as far as your range of motion. Again, you don't want to shift this far. If you're like this, probably your calves are really tight and maybe you might have to put something underneath your heels. But ideally, just stretch them out, roll them out. Yeah. And then kick this back a little bit more and then squat as low as comfortably possible until you see a rounding. So I'll try to round. So if you see that tailbone round under there, don't go that far. And like you said, perfect example is have a chair or something safe behind you. And then you can just tap and then come back up. Another reason sometimes is if the quads are just way too tight. Mm-hmm. And a super easy way to check if they're too tight is if you are on the ground here and you can't come back and sit on your heels, probably way too tight.
Okay.
That might be too advanced.
Is that a contra-indication as to when you don't want to strengthen your calf muscles? Or?
No, you still want to strengthen. So everything you want, that's a great question. Everything you just have to take to a full range of motion. So for example, if you're always only squatting here, that's your range of motion that you'll have. Everything else will be tight in an unhealthy range. So today it might be this point, maybe for a month. Maybe month 2, you can get a little bit lower.
Yep.
Month 3, eventually. Then one day, possibly almost to the ground. I can't go right to the ground either right now. So don't worry if you can't. It's all about proper form. If your whole body's in proper form as you move, everything will align properly.
Awesome. Now, if you have any questions regarding squats or strengthening those quad muscles to help reduce issues with knee pain, please post those below. And if you haven't subscribed to us yet on YouTube, right there,
right now.
Have an awesome day.